Hey everybody, welcome. So, huh, we have some unique issues here. Looks like Fox is dealing with some computer stuff on his side. His internet is down, but only on his computer. I don't know. It's weird. He and I are trying to figure things out right now. Who here is in IT? Chat. Anybody in there for that's in an IT? Oh wait, here we go. Hold on. Wait. Oh hey. Okay. So we got Fox on his phone. Hang on. I'm gonna bring you into the chat here.
I need
There's
to figure out a
Fox.
way to.
How did I not know that what is happening here?
What?
There we go. Okay. So unfortunately for you in chat, the audio is not going to be great. The good news is though that you can still record with your computer, right? You don't need the internet uh, to use Audacity, right?
No, I can. No, I can do that.
Okay,
My
cool, cool.
my audio recording file will be higher quality the than the like live,
Right, right.
Twitch stream.
And
But as long
anybody
as
anybody in chat right now is going to be hearing.
are we currently live?
We're live, my friend.
The internet. Hello
Hey, everybody.
to all the millions of people listening at home.
Hey, hey. Only like
Oh,
thousands, you
also
know.
the oven is on right now, so I'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I was planning on this being at noon, so
My bad. My bad.
professional.
Indeed. Okay, hang on. I'm naming my audio file. I forgot today. MCU Phase 4. Okay. And audio level check. Cool. We're good. So you can see, everybody, just how professional we are and how good we are at this, you know? So good times, great oldies, lots of fun. Hey, chat, if anybody is out there, I don't have an intro for today's podcast. Usually, Fox and I like to do kind of a goofy, funny joke thing to begin. I don't know. Maybe we'll do what phase 5 will be. Yeah. Sure, let's go with that. No, no. Maybe I do have something. I think I got something. Fox is I mean, what I love the most about when people like have to get up and do stuff is being able to see their room. So you can see like Fox has got the map on the wall and
Yeah,
got some books on a
not,
shelf
not
back there, and
working.
you can see the top. You can see a chandelier hanging from his ceiling up there, like the last gems of it. Nice,
That's
nice.
to show how rich I am
Right, rich in friendship.
and American currency.
Cash dollars. And also Dogecoin, he really bought in on that a while back, but it's paid off. So
Yeah, I am a crypto bro.
that's what we all know him as, Fox the crypto bro.
You just have fun being poor.
It's
That's what
not
the
fun.
crypto.
Let me be clear, it's
That's
not
what
fun.
the cryptids say.
Are you hearing me through your phone right now too? Like,
Oh, this is all through my phone.
wow. But so okay, hold on. Your computer
Oh,
is just saying
check,
that you
check,
don't
check.
have internet, right? That's it?
My computer has for a long time basically stated, "Hey, you don't have internet, but the internet works fine." I don't know why. It hasn't mattered because the internet was working. It has now evolved to like it actively says I am connected through Wi-Fi, I am secured, I have internet access. But basically the only sites I can get on the internet are YouTube and Google Docs and I think maybe Gmail. But even other Google apps aren't working.
That's so
Luckily,
weird.
those three things comprise like 85% of my internet usage on my computer. Plus I have my phone and stuff. Like it's really, it's not disruptive really, except for when we're trying to do this. But I don't know. It's real dumb. I don't know how to figure it out. And yeah, so if anybody wants to, maybe just buy me a new computer. That's
Yeah.
really the best solution.
Yeah, if anybody wants to buy Fox a new
I'm
computer.
definitely working on the same, mostly the same hardware for about 10 years now. So
That's so weird. Like that's just such an odd thing to have happening here.
it's a very strange situation.
All right, so I've been thinking about what we should do for our intro, and what I have,
My internet.
yeah, you just talk about your internet. Um, what I'm thinking right now is our ideas for Phase 5.
Phase 5? I think we should let's throw that into like the end of our discussion.
Oh,
Because we're into
but this was going to be funny, dumb ideas for Phase 5.
Oh, I see. Just restart it all. Reboot the whole thing. Just Iron Man 1 rebooted.
or I'm going to Disneyland in a couple of weeks. We could do
Yep.
what
Bring that in so you can brag.
what would Marvel land? Oh no, there already is one. Dang it, there's the Avengers campus.
No, but what else could they add to it? Absolutely.
What from
Let's
Phase
add
4 could they add to to the Avengers?
I was going to say let's add an X-Men section, a mutant section, where as you go in, you're like scanned by some sentinels standing there, and you randomly, make it random, might
Right.
be a mutant, and then you're killed on the spot if you want. But don't make sure it's not a racist. It's truly random.
Right.
Because the whole thing is to tell you about discrimination without actually discriminating.
No, I like
But
that.
you will be killed by a sentinel.
Let's do this. Let's
They
extend
will
the
shoot
Avengers
you with big
campus.
lasers.
Let's extend
We're doing it.
for our
Sure,
intro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds great.
I like that idea. Hold on. For you, chat. The reason that the timing is everything was weird and random for what's this thing called Nerdy Gritty today is because I had a doctor's appointment for some shortness of breath, and I went in, and I thought it was gonna be like, oh man, okay, hey, well here's a new inhaler or whatever, but instead I went in and the doctor was like, we're going to go ahead and take some x-rays and we're going to give you a breathing test. And this keeps up when we want to admit you into the ER. And I'm like, what? And so, I was in the doctor's office waiting for like the results to show up. And I went ahead and sent a text to a bunch of people like, hey, just some prayer. Hey, prayer shout out. If anybody can just be praying for a while here. And now everyone's like, so what happened? What? So I'm updating some people right now.
Gotcha.
Wait.
Turns out you were just getting some steroids.
Right, now I'm just getting some steroids because I'm going to get swole.
Also, I got a microphone through my headphones, so maybe that might have changed the audio quality from my end.
Yeah, it's worse, but it's okay. We'll live.
Oh, good. Really, it's worse?
Yeah, surprisingly.
I guess the microphone through my wireless earbud Bluetooth headphones is worse than the onboard microphone on my phone. Which isn't actually, I guess, that surprising.
Well, I would guess that when you're using those headphones, typically it'd probably be because your phone is in your pocket and oh, hey, Retro Zero, good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for saying hi.
Hello, welcome, traveler.
But maybe it's meant for your phone being in your pocket, and that's why.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do how to extend the Avengers campus in yes. California Adventure, and then we are going to talk Phase 4. Do you have a news article? Or do you want to quickly look that up?
Yeah, I am a little unprepared here.
I mean, so was I. We both. I mean, we were.
Luckily, we're all addicted to tech, so I've got like 6 computers at hand. Even though my main one does not have internet access.
Oh,
I'll just open this other
it's
computer.
only your computer?
It's literally just my desktop.
That sounds like some malware or something, my friend.
Something's going on. I don't know what it is. I googled it. There have been people that have had this issue. The resolutions that I've tried have not done anything.
Weird. Have you tried not doing it? Like not having that be the problem?
I have.
Ah, man.
Didn't really. I wished really hard.
Right.
I did some rituals. Those didn't pan out like they usually do for me.
Sounds like actually they
But,
panned out exactly like they normally would for somebody, meaning as in like nothing happened at all.
Nothing
It
happened.
was an absolute waste of time.
I poured a bunch of salt into my computer. Is that might actually have been the issue now? Now that I'm thinking about it. Ironically, I might have caused more of an issue. Yeah, let's get started whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we good? Okay.
Yeah,
So just a reminder, chat, if you do want to shout out anything during the chat, we probably won't respond to it. We will wait until after another podcast, but go and put anything you want in the chat and we will try to address it after we're done recording. And then we can discuss that for a little while. So, all right, I'm going to start recording.
Sicky, nar.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3,
2, 4.
Today in the Nerdy Gritty, we talk about Phase 4 and the successes and failures of the MCU. No, let's not go with that. Let me rephrase that. Today on the Nerdy Gritty, we talk about the MCU's Phase 4 and its successes and failures.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I am, I can't, Fox. I'm Fox.
Hey, Fox. Hey.
That's me.
That's it.
Wait. I could say wasn't it Star Fox?
Yeah.
No, he was Eros. Was it Star Fox or Eros that showed up at the end of Eternals?
That's Star Fox, right?
Harry Styles.
Yeah.
He's one of them. Doesn't matter. I'll say I'm Star Fox.
Okay. I am Dez, which I am for now, but then we're never going to mention it again.
I will you'll show up for a post-credit scene.
Right.
And that's it. You'll be a disembodied voice off screen.
And that's it. Man.
Because Mahershala Ali is going to quit because he's so frustrated with how long it's taking to make a Blade movie.
Man, I cannot... I'm not going to quit on the Eternals. Just that literally nobody has talked about the new superpowered people that are flying around the world, this giant thing that came out of the sky that says it was going to judge them, the hand that almost cracked
somehow the scientists of the MCU are not baffled as to how the Earth is still intact, even though something literally came out of its core.
How it was apparently an egg this whole time? What?
Yeah, if you tell me that you had an egg in your hand and a baby chick emerged halfway from it, that egg is broken. That egg is irrevocably broken. Just because it didn't fully emerge doesn't mean it's not irrevocably broken. That shell has been cracked. And that's destroying the integrity of the thing. It's no longer relevant. Anyway, whatever.
Man, yeah, and the Eternals. It was a movie, you guys. It was.
We're gonna get into all of that.
Yeah, we'll get into all that.
I've got good things to say about the Eternals too. So
right.
We're gonna get into.
Speaking of good things to say, hey, I'm going to Disneyland soon. My wife surprised me for my 40th birthday with a Disneyland trip, and my favorite part, like people keep saying, like, "Oh, that's going to be so fun, a family Disneyland trip," and we're like, "Nope, just the parents. Kids aren't going." Yeah, Jackie and I.
To stay home.
My wife and I are huge Disneyland fans. Like our first date was at Disneyland. Lots of dates after that. Honeymoon was in Disney World. Right now we're saving up for her 40th. Which is years away, but we're saving up now so we can go on a family Disney cruise. We're Disney nuts. All that to say that husband wife trip 2-day trip to Disneyland is what I was surprised with, and I'm so excited. But I don't know if you guys know this, but in Avengers in California Adventure, there is Avengers Campus, and this is basically the Marvel themed land in California Adventure. And we were thinking to ourselves, now that Marvel's like really going full swing, Phase 4 just came out, what are some ways that we can expand the Avengers Campus? You know, what are some things that we should add to the Avengers Campus as the MCU continues to update? So,
do you have an idea of what it currently involves? Because I have no idea.
oh yeah, absolutely. So there's restaurants. There's the actual Avengers Campus itself, in which they have like the
Like
players,
the
the people
headquarters
come out, and
building.
you can get pictures with people. They have the Web Slingers ride, which is a spectacular, one of my favorite rides in Disneyland right now. They have like a lot of fun restaurants, things like that. It's a real cool place. It really is. It's a fun area.
Okay.
It's a Disneyland area. You know, it's a Disneyland land. It's just Marvel.
Okay, makes sense.
But here's where I think that they could improve. Ready? So, California Adventure has always been geared more toward the grown-up side of things. They serve alcohol there. They have wine tasting. Like it's kind of
more intense rides. I'd say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think they need a Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness horror, like horror, straight up gore, blood, like you get like splashed with blood as you're going through this.
Literally, actual human blood is thrown on you.
I want to
see. This is like the most intense haunted house experience you could have. You have to sign a waiver. You might die.
I want like little Billy with his Mickey ears to come out the other side, wide-eyed, like a little bit of red splash on his face.
I'm saying it now.
Just haunted by Scarlet Witch for the rest of his life.
Scarlet Witch is like, doing a thing on a screen, and then they make eye contact with you.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like that creepy moment in Multiverse of Madness.
If they could find a way to have like the animatronic or whatever actually pick one person to make direct eye contact with and like know your name, that would be wild.
Okay, if you want the enhanced package for the if you're like staying at at one of the Disney hotels there,
right?
They actually have Elizabeth Olsen show up in your room,
but you don't know when.
Like floating in the corner somehow, like a sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, like a
just
sleep
staring at you.
Oh, guys, how many more times do I have to do this tonight?
Hey, you should have read the fine print on that contract, Elizabeth. We own you.
We own you. Now get back in that room. There's a 4-year-old girl. You're going to stand over her bed and
she will have nightmares.
All right, what do you got?
You know what? One of my favorite parts of the Phase 4 was the She-Hulk show. I really enjoyed. I thought it might have been one of the best parts of it.
Phase 4.
Just because it was, to me, really different than a lot of everything else they did. That was, we'll get into that, but that was kind of the nature of the whole Phase 4, that they might have tried a few different things. They should have like a straight up like boxing, like a combat, or like you can go in and you fight like some kind of MMA martial artist, like a woman just with painted green. She's got stilts on, but she's really good at them. So she's like 9 feet tall, and you can go in and fight her. And if you win, you get a prize. You get like a fun little like I survived
good
the
job
She-Hulk experience, and then it says in parentheses literally. I've just now noticed that all of my suggestions have included some way to die.
Yeah. They didn't hear your first one. We did that off the recording.
A sentinel will kill you at the front if you're randomly determined to be a mutant. Elizabeth Olsen will murder you in your sleep. or She-Hulk will punch your brain out.
Yeah.
Those are my options. There's a lot of violence in the MCU, so I feel like if we don't include that in the experience, then we're like, it's not really the same, is it? Like they always got to end with the big fight. So why not end your experience at, like, if you're leaving, you have to fight a big villain when
Yeah.
you leave Avengers Campus. It's the finale to the whole experience, just like it's the finale of pretty much every single MCU movie or show. Well, except for She-Hulk, I guess that was kind of the whole point.
Yeah, that's exactly what the
So
whole point
maybe
was.
maybe you have to fight like some, like, yeah, demon or something, whatever.
Man, I don't know what's going on with your internet, but your audio is coming in like a full 2 seconds before your video. It's kind of wild, but it's not that big of a
Well,
deal.
it's fine. It's what we have.
All right, you ready? You ready for my final idea here?
I am.
So, a big thing in the MCU right now is the multiverse, right? And
Yes.
you see a lot of like examples of people seeing themselves, whether it's the three Spider-Men, whether it's Doctor Strange encountering himself in each different world, including Zombie Strange. Whether minor spoil. By the way, we're gonna spoil the crap out of Phase 4. I'm gonna put that now.
Pretty much every single thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that now, and we're gonna do it again, even big in the actual like meat of the podcast. But so. Yeah, just a lot of versions of yourself are going on here. So you're going to show up to the Avengers campus and your identity will immediately be stolen. That's it. Your credit cards are taken. Your social security number is immediately forfeit.
Some version of you will exist out there and leaked into this world because of the multiverse.
It'll be your full identity will be distributed on the black market immediately, and then another version of you will buy 7 area rugs on Amazon.
That is something that literally happened to you.
That's something that actually happened to me.
A weird purchase.
This is okay. Long story, very very short. One day, 7 area rugs showed up at our house, and we're like, "Wait, what is this?" And we checked out our Amazon account, and our credit card number had been taken, so we canceled it. There were no other purchases, and whatever doofuses stole our credit card made number one made no other purchases, and number two didn't change the address at all, and so we ended up just getting 6 free area rugs because our insurance refunded us, or sorry, credit card refunded us because we didn't make the purchase. It was a clear fraud, and now we had some area rugs. Like, what are we gonna do with this? I tried to like tell Kohl's, hey, can we send these back to you? They're like, yeah, but you'll have to pay for shipping. And I'm like, never mind. I'm gonna sell these instead.
Well, then cool. We just got rugs.
Yeah. So it was weird. Anyway, you got anything else?
No, I don't. I want to avoid more just ways to die at Disneyland.
Ways to die. If you guys didn't hear, but his first one was because we did it off of the actual podcast recording. We just talked about the stream. His first one was scanning for mutants. There'll be large sentinels as you walk in, and they're scanning people, and then randomly one is just chosen as a mutant, and then they murder you on the spot.
Yeah, then they kill you with big lasers.
Right. So anyway, hey, should we get on to the world of news?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, if you have anything, I don't know if your internet allowed you to.
No, absolutely. Hey, you know what's still cool and fun and everybody loves and hasn't turned out to be a huge scam like everybody predicted?
Oh no, what's that?
NFTs and cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah, totally relevant, and people are totally into it.
NFTs are still awesome. There's been no bad news about them. Nobody was right when they said it was a scam or wrong or bad in every way. Well, hey, because that's true, you know what's really strange? Nobody wants to buy a crypto-themed house.
What?
I know, it's really strange. So recently, there's a house that was put on the market in North Hollywood.
Okay.
So essentially, it's just a normal house, like, as far as like the layout, it's a minutes from the North Hollywood shopping center. It's got vaulted ceilings. It's got the quote kitchen that flows seamlessly into the living and dining areas with a wide and spacious open floor plan. And for some reason, it isn't selling. Even in the
gas.
You normally go well. The problem is that apparently the problem, we can't tell for sure. There's no way to tell.
Right.
It's called the crypto house. So essentially, every single room is just decked out with pictures of like NFTs. Like you know how like there's the like NFT like the board apes or the yacht apes or whatever they are,
Right.
and you know how most like NFT lines are just like slightly varied versions of the same picture over and over again.
Right.
It's essentially a house where all the like wallpaper and pictures on everything are that. They're just pictures of those NFTs.
Who is the demographic for this home?
I'm not really sure. Somebody who's not smart in a lot of ways. Um, Here's the thing: it was originally listed in October 2022 for 1.2 million. A complete lack of interest in the property. This is a Kotaku article. Has seen its asking price plummet to just 949,000 in a matter of weeks. It has dropped by almost
That's
$300,000 in a couple of weeks
ridiculous.
because there has been zero interest. The thing is, the other like big dunk on it is that it's not just that nobody wants to buy it; it's that it's also on Airbnb and it has a vacancy rate of 100%.
A
Literally,
vacancy.
nobody has even wanted to just stay there short term
Wow.
as an Airbnb. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. It's got a pool. It's got apparently a bonus structure, some kind of other building, house, shed, whatever, outdoor space. Just like in other words, this would be a house that probably would sell. You know, if in a normal like if you have the money, obviously it's going to be expensive regardless because of its location and whatnot. It just isn't. And what I find most ironic about it is that it has pictures of NFTs. This house is a living like example of the complete irony of an NFT. An
It's
NFT is like supposed to be this unique JPEG essentially that whatever like but you can just like screenshot or just right click download this image and now you essentially own exactly what the owner of the NFT has. This house is demonstrating that. This is wallpaper that demonstrates what is supposed to be a unique asset, an NFT, a non fungible token. And it's just like, how is. I really hope the person who did this was just trying to jump on a trend or something and just was misguided in the biggest way possible. Because if somebody seriously like decorated a house like this and then said, yeah, people are really going to want this house, then it's just like this complete lack of like understanding of the issue with NFT. Like, I mean, it's obviously a clear demonstration of the problem with NFTs.
right.
Just somebody doesn't realize the utter irony of what an NFT is supposed to be offering being completely useless. It's such a like hilarious
This is in LA, right?
ironic. Yeah, it's North Hollywood.
I'm looking at it right now, and it is not only not a very large house, but it's ugly. Like it's really ugly.
Yeah, even if you took all the NFT stuff out, the decoration, like the mantle over the fireplace, is weird. Is purple,
It's like this
and I'm
purple
not sure
tiger
why.
stripe. No, it's just purple. It's weird. It's real weird.
Got a lot of weird like clashing colors. Also, there's a neon sign that just says Crypto House,
Right.
but it's in like the dining room area. Like it's just like it's like somebody's trying to make a terrible house. Like it's like some kind of social experiment to see who's dumb enough to buy a house like this for the clout or whatever.
Man.
But nobody is actually doing it, which actually does give me a little hope. Nobody wants to buy this house, and that's great because they shouldn't, you know.
This isn't my article. My article is actually a pretty cool one. This is
Okay.
just me tossing out. Did you know? Did I show you that? Tell you that Trump is selling NFT trading cards of himself?
He was quote unquote he was selling. They sold out immediately.
Right. Yes. Yes. But it's
Yeah,
him
it
like
was
it.
they're terrible photoshops
Yes.
of him as a like they were advertised as like great moments from Donald Trump's career, and it's him in like like an astronaut suit.
I
or
see
as a
one
cowboy.
him as a superhero, him as a hunter,
Yeah,
like, but it's all just
he's never done these things.
his head photoshopped onto these things. They're ridiculous.
They are terrible looking photoshops too.
Right.
Somebody paid their dirtbag nephew to do this in 20 minutes. And
Okay.
then there's also accusations of straight up like just stealing from other images,
Oh yeah.
like stock images without paying for it, stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, it's exactly what you would expect from this kind of situation. Anyway, yeah, let's move on because I don't want. This is making me feel gross.
So something way better. I got an article here from gamesindustry.biz. European Parliament
Which sounds like a fake website. But it's
European Parliament votes to take action against loot boxes, gaming addiction, gold farming, and more. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, this is the European Parliament that kind of oversees the EU. And if you guys don't know, there's PEGI. So we have the ESRB here, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, and that is an independent organization that rates video games.
Yeah, it's a voluntary process.
In Europe, there's the Pan-European Game Information, also known as PEGI. If you've ever heard,
probably heard
PEGI 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
The European Parliament has voted to take PEGI under their umbrella, start funding it as a government organization, and they have this huge list of things that they would like to start overseeing that include, number one, more closely rating video games. So this includes things like tactics, monetization tactics that are geared toward children, loot boxes. This includes research, like a lot more research into the impact that this type of stuff has on children, on people 18 years and younger. This also includes equality in video game creation. So more representation for women, more representation for people of color. Like it is this entire government oversight that wants to make European gaming into something a lot better, just like outright, a lot more oversight and a lot more. Yeah. And so what was really cool about it is that there's just this big list of goals that they have right now. What comes of that, we'll see. But you can see again on this gamesindustry.biz, European Parliament votes to take action against loot boxes is the title of the article. And the very bottom is this list. It's got like 30 different points on exactly what they want to do, on how they want to improve video gaming in Europe. And I think that is A, awesome, and B, hey America, how come we're not going to do that? I'm not going to say that we should take the ESRB under the government umbrella. That's, maybe not a good idea, but what I'm saying is,
ratings agencies like that are pretty much always like they're ubiquitous because there are other industries that won't. So like GameStop will not sell an unrated game.
Right.
So therefore, pretty much every single, like the only place you can really distribute your game without a rating is online,
right,
somewhat Steam or something like that. But if you want, console distribution, then you have to get it measured. So that kind of answer, that's the answer to that question, is just the private industry is deciding that this is pretty much mandatory. But that's not forced. So,
but just government oversight over what is and not allowed for gaming and monetization and being predatory towards children. Like I know that we have some of that coming from the federal. What is it? The one that oversees the one that just hit Epic Games real hard for
FCC, the Federal Communications.
Yeah, FCCs. Yeah, we have that, and there's doing some stuff in there, but I still think there's a long way that we could go, and I like to see what the European Parliament is doing. So yeah,
hopefully this sets a good example.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyway, you ready to get down to that there nerdy gritty?
Yeah, I was gonna say always, but that has clearly not been true today.
Right. So okay, but let's get down to the nerdy gritty.
Sure.
Okay, so the Phase 4 has officially ended with Wakanda Forever. If you guys don't know what that means, is that the Marvel movies have been broken down into different phases.
And TV shows.
And TV show. So the Marvel cinematic. So as video entertainment, I guess you could call it. has been broken down into 4 phases. The first phase being the introduction of most of the characters and ending with the Avengers. The second phase being a lot of like crossover stuff and progression of stories, ending with Age of Ultron. And then the third one, of course, being the culmination of all of this, and ending with not Infinity War, with Endgame.
Endgame, yes.
Everything after Endgame. Oh no, actually, officially ending with Far From Home.
Yes, that was like supposed to be like the epilogue.
Right,
Essentially.
right. So now Phase 4 has been everything after Far From Home, and Marvel has treated this as a highly experimental phase. They know that they have the fandom to be able to do some
Yes.
different things, some weird things and bad things, and get away with it if it ends up being disliked. Because
Yeah, trying new stuff, not necessarily bad, but
no, I'm saying if whatever they try out ends up failing, they know they have the credibility. That's what they know. They have the credibility
yeah.
that
The
people are going to stick
credibility
with them.
and the kind of captive audience a little.
Yeah. So, what we want to talk about is what worked, what didn't work in Phase 4, and what do we hope to see from Phase 5? Some new things, some different things. So we had said that maybe we want to go one by one here. If we're going to go one by one, we're going to need to go quickly because Phase 4 was not small.
That's a lot. Yeah, I might want to
Yeah.
just hit some big highlights.
So I'm pulling up a list right here. So to list off everything that was in Phase 4: WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, What If. I guess What If. Oh man, What If was supposed to be out of lore, like out of canon.
Out of canon.
But they referenced it sort of in Multiverse of Madness. But anyway, What If. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home, Moon Knight. I forgot about Moon Knight. Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder, I Am Groot, which is a series of short. We're not including that.
Animated show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I haven't watched it, so I can't comment on it.
She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Did you see that, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
We can talk about it.
So let's chat here for a little bit just about do we want to just do we want to break this down into what worked and what didn't, or do we want to break it down into each individual thing?
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to try to get through individually. We'll be here forever. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's hit some like highlights first. What we think worked well, I think would be a good, in whatever capacity you and I.
Yeah.
Think that would work.
So for me, what I definitely want to start with, and overall, what I think worked well was experimentation in general. They clearly experimented with this, and I think they had more success than failure in this. Right off the bat, we have WandaVision, and WandaVision was spectacular. It was so good. It
was weird. It was even outside of like superhero stuff. It was unique as far as its format and what it was doing.
Yeah,
so yeah, I agree.
WandaVision was so different, and then She-Hulk was another one that it was mixed enjoyability, but you and I both very much enjoyed it. I loved that it was just a normal show. Like it was very, very much. It's exactly what it said it was. It was what if a single female lawyer.
Yeah.
What if a single female lawyer?
It was a legal comedy. It was a legal comedy.
Right. She also just happened to be a superhero, like to have superpowers.
I mean, yeah, she had superpowers, but typically that means you fight people.
Right.
And she did that for like 30 seconds 3 times. And it was never about the fight she was having.
Right.
It was about what that meant for her personally or her image or things like that. So I would say it's hard to call it a superhero show, although she did, I guess. I don't know if she saved anybody ever. Like, I don't know if she did what you would say is typically superhero stuff.
Excuse me. She saved, what was her name with a C and not where you think it is?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Dang it. She was one of the best characters. I would love a spin-off with her.
With just her and Wong. Like, I want a series of shorts.
Yeah.
A series of shorts, just like 10-minute shorts of her and Wong and their adventures of being best friends. Like, that's it.
I want it to be the structure of a romantic comedy, but they never actually get to the romance. Like they never actually become romantic.
Right.
It's just them like being genuine friends, where Wong always is kind of grumpy about it, but does genuinely enjoy the relationship. And like I think that would be super fun. And it would just be a great spinoff of a show that completely disregarded the typical superhero thing. So anyway, make it happen, Marvel. You're cowards if you don't.
To quote She-Hulk, Wong is Twitter proof. So,
Oh, you guys seem happy. Wong must have showed up again.
yeah. So what else? What else worked for you?
For me, overall, the television side of it almost always worked. Like there's something about just the ability to tell a longer form story
Yeah.
with television episodes. It gives you more time to. I mean, that's true for a lot of TV shows. Really, it just gives you time to develop characters. It's like what failed about The Witcher Blood Origin is that they everything seemed rushed. Where even if you had the same story but it just a few more episodes to kind of flesh out the characters more, it would have worked better. And they did that, I think, with a lot of the MCU shows. And as well as the fact, I mean, I've been saying for a long time, do something different with your stuff. Do something that, like what they did with Multiverse of Madness. It wasn't as horrific as I would have liked, because they still try to keep that tone, that kind of lighthearted tone. But it was a little more horrific, and it was better because of it. It tried to do something different. WandaVision did something completely different.
Right.
She-Hulk obviously was an entirely different genre than everything else they'd ever done. Miss Marvel had like a teen comedy quality to it, although it was pretty standard superhero shenanigans. Moon Knight got pretty violent and weird. Like, like I appreciated how they approached the television side of things. They addressed some like social issues with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like it just allowed for more to happen, and with a more of a sense of like honesty to it. I guess when you try to rush through something, it just feels like it can just try to be approaching something like give it lip service without giving it the time of day.
Right.
And a TV show doesn't generally have that issue as long as the writing is good. And so I appreciated like as far as highlights go, what I thought the television succeeded more often than the movie side of things.
And you said it already, when you give it that amount of time to be able to flesh out the characters and build a story, like being able to give you 3 hours before a climactic event as opposed to an hour, 2 hours if you're a longer movie, things like that. I mean, we can already see that with, and we'll talk about this more, but The Last of Us was 90 minutes long for its first episode, and it was the introduction to the world. Like, it was literally the introduction.
Video game, that was like 20 minutes.
Right. And so, and
they fleshed it out more, and it worked better because of it.
It worked so well. Again, we'll get to that later, though, when we talk about what we've been up to. So, yeah, the long form TV show for these things, I think, is a really, really good idea. I think it works really, really well. On top of that, something else that you kind of touched on that I really liked was the diversity of it. The amount of diversity that they wanted to focus on this was so good. If you watch the Avengers movie again, back in the original Avengers movie, it's weird how many white people there are, specifically white men. Yes,
punching aliens.
Yeah. And again, not that makes it bad. It's a great movie. I love it. But the lack of diversity in there, and then on top of that, the running joke was the amount of times that they focused on Scarlett Johansson's butt through the whole thing. Like, it was clearly made for the white male. Clearly made for the white male. And so, or white female attracted, I should say. But these ones, the series 4 expanded on that so much. Like, yes, sure, you had Hawkeye. Yes, sure, you had Guardians of the Galaxy. You still had your white male protagonists in a lot of things, but also Shang-Chi, not Spider-Man. That's also what else was there?
I mean, if you're going with just strictly main protagonists, sure, but like Shang-Chi's got Ned and MJ and like a pretty diverse cast.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel.
Direct, absolutely. Eternals has a pretty
Moon
wide
Knight,
ranging
yeah,
cast. Moon Knight's about Egyptian. Like, there's so many. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Because it just seems it's more interesting this way, where especially when you get into, like, I mean, obviously you have Wakanda Forever,
right.
which the worst part of that movie was the white guy parts. Like,
The boring parts, yeah.
get out of here, Bilbo.
What
You
are you
don't like
doing here,
you're far less
Watson?
interesting. You're far less interesting than Namor. That guy is awesome, and you're just some dude who works for the CIA. Uh, anyway, yeah, it's far more interesting, and also like uh, it also more reflects. I mean, they don't. This is a cinematic universe that is based on comic books, and people complain about it, but Marvel comics are pretty diverse
Yeah,
as far as their lineup goes. It's still a lot of white people, but like especially the younger crew, like you got Riri Williams as Ironheart, you got Miss Marvel, you got Miles Morales, obviously not in the MCU yet, probably within the next 5 or 6 years, I would guess.
right.
So, but you've got like the younger crowd is more diverse, and when you're introducing younger people into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's almost inevitably it needs to be like this. Just makes sense for who, like, the characters they're basing it all on. So it lines itself up with the original material.
Yeah, and it's better for it. Just casting a wider net on demographic, you
Yes.
get more people to fall in love with it. You're like, they already proved that with Luke Cage. Like, Luke Cage brought in a demographic that Marvel just flat out did not have before, of that inner city black man. And again, the show was spectacular, but also there was a whole new like demographic of people that identified with this in a massive
Sure.
way. And so, or for myself, my brother and I have this podcast, another podcast, the Pocho podcast, where we're talking about our Mexican heritage and seeing so much of that represented, a lot of that Mesoamerican, Aztec and Mayan stuff represented in Wakanda Forever, from Namor, was so cool. Especially talking about like the colonization of it, and like him straight up telling Shuri, you're not the only one who was colonized. Like, you're not the only one who this terrible stuff happened to. Like, it's
right. You don't have a monopoly on trauma.
yeah. So it's so cool to see that wider net cast. So
Yeah, that's been a really fun thing, and it just keeps it for somebody who doesn't know, is obviously very white. That's been the entirety of my experience, essentially, pretty much, as growing up, seeing more cultures represented, seeing, Miss Marvel, and kind of obviously it's a fictionalized, somebody's writing it. This isn't just documentary footage, but it's getting into politics within a mosque of like, and it's just like talking about the segregation that happens during a service at a mosque, and things that without researching or whatever, I probably would never know. I might learn about Islam from Islam from at a higher perspective, just about its religious beliefs, but those like real particular politics and concerns within the modern day American Islam context. I really think that's what a show like that should do, is try to introduce new ideas to people who aren't going to understand that, or going to know about them outside of that. And I think they did really well, even if it is obviously a fictional story about character.
Right.
It's hey, here's something that's going on.
Right. Another thing that I think that they hope that they keep going with is the horror that they've introduced into this.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was genuinely scary at some points. Moon Knight was genuinely scary at some points. And there are absolutely, unquestionably characters within the Marvel universe that you could make solid horror films off of.
Blade should be a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really hoping that Deadpool 3, being R-rated as it will, I believe has been confirmed, makes $1 bajillion. Not because I want Marvel to have a bunch of money, whatever,
right.
Because that's generally the metric of success for these, and saying, oh, it made that much money, let's continue doing that, so that they are more confident making more R-rated movies, because I was a little disappointed with Multiverse of Madness. It's literally called Multiverse of Madness, and there's basically one scene where they kind of jump through a bunch of other universes, and they're weird or whatever, and then it's just kind of like split between two. There's not a lot of horror in it as far as like genuinely creepy stuff. I mean, it does have the Sam Raimi flavor of horror imagery that's also comedic at the same time,
Right.
which I really appreciated. But I'm really, yeah, I hope that they continue this trend and also are willing to go deeper into that. And I think Deadpool 3's success would be a really good sign for them to continue that trend.
Right. Right. I don't know.
If Deadpool 3 is a failure, it would signal the end of the world.
It would be a shock to me, but I do want to say that I think Deadpool 3 and R-rated horror are very different genres.
Sure,
Deadpool
sure,
is
obviously.
high goofy comedy that's just high violence language, type of stuff. That's Deadpool style. I think that
Yeah.
horror being R-rated doesn't have to just be violence and cursing and whatnot. It can be
Oh, no, no,
a
no.
lot more than that.
The best horror is not that. The best horror is gets under your skin
Right.
and makes you like. I don't remember a lot of the plot of Multiverse of Madness. I do remember the moment that Elizabeth Olsen looks at
Stares
the
into
camera.
the camera. Jeez. Just...
No, doesn't stare into the camera very briefly. So you're like, wait, did she just wait a minute? And then it's already gone. Like it already moves on. That's not the that's much more effective horror than zombie Strange flying through the air
Right.
and fighting Witch Lady. I mean, those were I thought that was fun, really
Right,
Sam
right.
Raimi-esque.
Very
but it's
Raimi.
not horror, it's comedy. And so, like, yeah, the best horror is something that gets under your skin, and in fact, probably would be something that Marvel would be more willing to do because it's not that like surface level like violence horror that they would be less apt to do. They wouldn't want a bunch of blood and guts. But if it's something that genuinely creeps you out without that, I think they could probably go into that, like just as a quote unquote family company, So I think there's a good chance, especially with the success of Multiverse of Madness.
Yep. All right. You have anything else that you want to say went really well? Good stuff that they should lean into more?
Here's what I want. Okay, kind of, but in that vein, I wanna sit here and be the defender of Eternals.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed the Eternals, mostly because it was very different than what we come to expect from a Marvel movie. Most of the time, a Marvel movie is, unless it's a sequel, obviously, which we're getting more of, but also we're still getting origin movies. Most of the time, you get here's person, here's who they are, here's the thing that happens to them. Now they're a superhero. They have to fight somebody. Violence wins at the end of the day. The Eternals was about people who were thousands of years old and already had these established relationships and these different cultures that they were a part of. And most of the movie was them just kind of getting in contact with each other and talking, which I actually really enjoyed. Not just because it's sitting there talking, but because it felt to me, and I don't mean this in like everything else is for babies and this was the real mature one, but it felt like something that was more willing to, like it was, Chloe Zhao was the director, and her previous movie was Nomadland. And Nomadland was a movie that was essentially about a lady who was living out of a van and just like traveling around the country and dealing with life. There was no like real plot to it. Obviously there was character conflict and stuff like that, but there was no like, ticking clock or whatever, And so that clearly translated into this a little bit where it felt like a slice of life movie almost. Like I could see this kind of thing happening outside of the superhero where you have these people just all coming back together and dealing with the conflict between them and just what their place in life is and dealing with the lies they've been told by those in power. And like those are themes that are really important and do show up in Marvel movies sometimes, but generally are just resolved by punching the bad guy enough.
Right.
And this didn't really resolve that way. I mean, you still had big comic book things like the whatever the big giant guys were called. Sure.
Celestials.
I don't know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, sure. It's Celestials. I think that's right. but I just really appreciated the willingness to slow things down, be a little more quiet, be a little more. Again, I don't mean this. A little more adults, a little more willing to not just fight each other as conflict, but to deal with this thing that you did long ago, or this thing that and also like had a deaf character,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like the deaf character, and that kind of thing is always fun to see, where it's not like, look at this deaf person, it's just a person who is deaf, and it's just
Right.
part of life because that's how life is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know. I really enjoy these hurdles, and I think it did not get its due because it was not what it kind of advertised itself maybe as a typical Marvel thing, but didn't really fall into that category. So anyway, it was a highlight for me.
Eternals was fine. I'm not going to say I disliked it. It's a fun movie that I enjoyed. I definitely have my reservations with it though, which I will get into in a little bit here. So
Sure.
overall, what I want to say that I want to continue to praise about the MCU, that they continued in Phase 4, and that I I want to say I hope they still do it, but I know they're going to, because they've got the credibility of doing it for however many years now, and that is continue to make spectacular characters that we care about. That's what it is. We don't care that somebody is super powered and can punch somebody really hard. That's where
Sure.
the DCEU has been failing. That Superman is super powerful, and that's kind of what they want to talk about is, oh, how does he deal with how super powerful he is? Like, no, that we want to see how human he is, and that's what the MCU thrives in, is making these characters that you can identify with, and also they have these superpowers. That's She-Hulk is obviously the picturesque perfect of this. Is what made her so enjoyable. What made it so enjoyable was the human side of it. And then on top of that, she had these superpowers to deal with. Continue to make these incredibly enjoyable characters, continue to make these people that we just fall in love with and want to know more about their human side, because that is what keeps us coming back.
Yeah, you made me like an Aquafina character. That's impressive. Typically, I don't find Aquafina to be very funny when she's trying to be funny, but she was kind of funny in what, and also I liked her character in
And
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, for sure, for sure.
And
I love
I like
Aquafina,
their
but
relationship. I like their relationship in that movie. Like, it felt real, like they were friends, and maybe they could be more, but they weren't. I don't know. I liked how they approached that. Yeah, no, I agree that it's always fun when you see like Civil War. The Captain America Civil War. Iron Man had a new suit. Whatever, who cares? Even if it was some weird fancy magic technology, oh, it's nanotechnology that just comes out of him now. He doesn't even have to put the suit on. He just puts. That's far less interesting than his like fear of being not being having oversight and wanting to put a restraint on himself because he knows what he's done in the past. Whereas Captain America is dealing, like, I don't care what kind of lasers you got,
right.
Iron Man. I care about those genuine like character moments and character like, I understand where you've come from, and a big part of that is I've seen where you come from
Yeah,
over the course of
yeah.
six movies, and yeah. So that would actually really segue into I think an issue I have with Phase 4 if we want to jump into that.
Yeah, let's go. So let's talk about
Yeah,
ways that we think they could have improved, mistakes that they made. So go ahead, go for it.
I think that yeah, one of the as Phase 4 continued, it felt strange that no pun intended, they
Ha.
kind of introduced new people in everything at all the time. I guess it's just that it felt like they kind of shotgun affected it, where let's introduce a million new characters and nobody had a second thing. Like, nobody had what we've come to expect from the MCU is over time you see multiple movies and things have happened between them where people are different now, or you understand why they made the decision here because of two movies back. And Phase 1 had two Iron Man movies, and he showed, there were times when he would show up and Avengers, obviously. Um, and in this, nobody returned. It felt weird that it felt like they were just spreading thin the storylines they were trying to introduce and
Yep.
continue. and nothing got enough water to really grow. Some of it obviously was continuations of other stories a little bit, but this whole multiverse thing, I don't know, it felt like everything was just introducing a new story for me to understand or care about. And I wanted some time to go back and see what's happening now with so and so, or and I don't know, maybe I'm just expecting too much, but the inclusion of now you have TV as well means you just have more stories being told at the same time, and you've basically told us to expect an interconnected universe, but in this entirety of phase 4 where even more stuff was introduced because you have the television side now, it's not interconnected. You've just basically introduced a whole bunch of new stories, and I think it was just too much. I would have liked less with more focus.
Right, right. I think, kind of to piggyback on what you're saying and to put almost all of my complaints into one phrase, it's rein it in, guys. Rein it in.
Mm.
We had, through 3 phases, we reached the Thanos can control the universe. And even then, he
Sure.
could control the universe, but that's not what he wanted to do. Thanos could eliminate half of existence, of life.
That was his goal. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we got up to. Well, success. I mean, Infinity War success. That's what we reached. But phase 1, it was New York. And sure, it was also the worlds, but really what we had focused on was the city of New York. Phase 2,
Sure.
what it built up to was Sokovia. Again, there was the threats of world explosion, world death, and even then it was just planet Earth. But even then it was just like our main focus was the people of Sokovia, and then we built up to this global universe level thing over 3 phases, 24 movies, whatever it was, we built up to that. Within phase 4, just phase 4, we got the entire multiverse. We got a wish that could change all of existence in Thor Love and Thunder. We
That's
got
true.
somebody hatching from the core of the earth and a celestial being saying he would come and judge us afterward. We got like
Yep.
whatever the universe changing thing was in Moon Knight, where the days were passing, the sun and moon were spinning in circles, and nobody talked about it in Moon Knight.
And they introduced the idea that there is a god who straight up knows the future. That, I mean, obviously this is just, I'm a theological nerd
Right.
and recognize this, but they did straight up basically say everything is determined from the start. There is a god who knows exactly what you will do. Nothing is free. Free will doesn't really exist, and you will be judged correctly by this god.
And then for me, the cherry on top was, oh, by the way, the recreation of time itself in Loki. Like,
Yeah.
rein it in, guys. Like, what in the crap is happening here? You got to rein this in, guys. You got, and on top of all this, we're supposed to care that Elaine from Seinfeld is making a lawful neutral team. Like, that's it. Like, like, and that's like it's some.
Yeah, JLD.
Yeah, she's. Julie Louis-Dreyfus is forming a lawful neutral team on the government, and that we're supposed to care about that somehow.
All of the multiverse might be destroyed, and also we've got a Suicide Squad too, don't we? Ah, cool. Huh?
So
Because store brand Captain America seems like a jerk, and also the Celestials are going to erase humanity. Like, these seem disparate concerns that don't really match up with each other.
So
Like the beginning of Stranger Things season 4,
yes,
where it's like, hey, deal with Vecna, taking over teens and murdering them, and also Eleven's getting bullied. Not to discount the trauma that bullying is,
Right,
but it
right.
just feels like they're trying to get you to care about these two very different stakes. As it's very. The thing is, that's a very comic book.
Yeah, it's very comic book, but, and this is the other thing when I say what I mean rein it
Yes.
in, is they're going too many directions. In comic books, you can do that. You can say we have 52 monthlies that you can choose to reach
Yes.
however many of them you want. You cannot do that in film. Human beings will not invest that much time if you continue to branch at the extent you're branching right now. Okay, I'm going to go over and I'm going to mention all the loose ends I can think of as I'm coming down the list here. So WandaVision leaves Vision. There was White Vision. We don't know what happened with him. Falcon and Winter
Yep.
Soldier introduced whatever store budget Captain America.
Yeah, Soldier Man.
Yeah. Loki, U.S. agent. That's what he is. U.S. agent.
There you go.
Loki's got time altogether. What's going on with Loki?
Sure, just all that jazz.
Black Widow's got,
There's also 50 Lokis now.
yeah. Black Widow's got Yelena, and if we branch off from that even more, we can still do the rest of the family.
And then she showed up at. I'm for remembering Hawkeye. She showed up there.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, well, the whole universe of Shang-Chi, there was no crossover there. Eternals left the Celestials and whatever black sword at the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, that was Black Knight, but yeah.
Yeah. Hawkeye.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Sure. Hawkeye has the new Hawkeye. Spider-Man No Way Home's got the multiverse and the fact that nobody remembers Peter Parker now.
And the fact that Peter is just out on his own now.
Moon Knight is...
And maybe all that character development is just gone?
Moon Knight has their whole thing going on there. Doctor Strange has the multiverse.
The third personality.
Doctor Strange has the multiverse and wherever he's going. Miss Marvel has her whole universe. Thor: Love and Thunder has introduced the Guardians of the Galaxy inclusion with them, but also
young Thor.
Yeah.
Thor,
I guess they just call her Love, right? Yeah. So Love, young Thor.
I think she has some, but sure.
She-Hulk introduced Daredevil, which by implication includes Luke Cage,
Yes,
Iron Fist, all the Defenders.
Of the old Netflix shows, yes.
Right. Black Panther introduced Atlantis and Shuri.
Young T'Challa.
Oh yeah, young T'Challa, and very few of these threads are actually crossing over.
Yes.
The majority of them are their own storyline that are continuing. What the crap?
Now, okay, here's my fear. Here is my fear. I hate the multiverse as a concept because it allows for, it's like time travel to me. Both of them allow for a very uninspired resolution.
Right.
It's like the Infinite Infinite Earths or whatever, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, or any number of big DC events in the comics where you can introduce 1 billion things, and then at the end of a big event, you can have the final movie of Phase 6. You can get there, feel like a lot of stuff hasn't been resolved, and then they each get like a bunch of like the loose ends get a scene or a brief mention, or you see them momentarily, and then you say, "Oh, all of time has changed now," and so they can just forget some stuff if they don't want to continue it, or if it didn't succeed well financially, they can just disregard it now. But technically, it has been resolved because time stuff.
And here's the
that's
problem.
What I'm really scared that they'll do.
Here's the problem. Even with that, is we have the multiverse from the time part of Loki, the multiverse from the quantum part from Ant-Man, and the multiverse from the magical parts in Doctor Strange. Now, I know that Kang is the one thing threading all these things together.
The guy, the continuity, yeah.
He's the constant through all of these, but these, as they've been presented to us, are 3 separate versions of the multiverse.
I've been assuming that they're all ways to access the multiverse. I mean, obviously,
right,
that might not be true. Who knows? But
so
yeah, right. And also, if you continue to have those things, it's like time travel. If you continue to have the ability to time travel, you're going to always wonder, why didn't you just time travel to fix this problem? They never resolved. They never got rid of that. It's why J.K. Rowling put all of time travel on a shelf and then knocked over that shelf because everybody was then asking why didn't they just go back in time and fix the problem.
Right, right.
And it was literally because, oh, oops, somebody broke the time travel,
Yeah, yeah.
which is hilarious, but it is a resolution. So anyway, I'm really worried that that's going to be their solution to things, and it's going to be driven by what's been the most successful financially, what people have gotten good feedback on. Oh, people didn't like Miss Marvel. Well, turns out she was whatever the
So
term, a
multiverse
variant.
B.
So yeah, she was a variant. So the TVA went and got rid of her. She doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah.
which would be really disappointing. But I'm worried that kind of thing will happen because it has happened many times in the comics,
And
and it's dumb.
so again, back to my phrase, rein it in. After the first Avengers movie, there were spin-off things. And all of these spin-off things were the results, like tied directly to the Avengers. Like, even with the Defenders TV shows, although it wasn't about it, everybody talked about the New York incident. And a lot
They
of what was
referenced
going
the
on,
incident. Yeah,
a lot of what was going on was in reference to the New York incident or whatever else. Like, there was so much happening because of Avengers, and it all still fit within that puzzle. It feels like they've got 83 puzzle pieces from different puzzles right now.
they jumped out a bunch of puzzles into the same area, and they will never. And then throughout the boxes.
Right, right. So you got to rein it in, guys. Streamline these stories, put them together, make us care. Like, they don't all have to be about the same thing, but they feel so disparate right now that you got to rein it in. Rein it in is what I'm saying over and over again here. You
Right.
got
The
more?
problem is, well, the issue is, I mean, just going from it to it, what's the word I'm looking for? Speculation on the business side of things. You want people to stay subscribed to Disney Plus, and there are people like me who only subscribe when there's a Marvel show coming out. I will literally do the calculations, and if it will be more than 4 weeks or a certain amount of time between these shows, I will cancel my subscription the day as soon as I'm done with the show and resubscribe the day the new one starts. They don't want that. They want people to continually be subscribed. So and same with the movies. They want to continue people to go and buy tickets as many times as possible, which lends itself to producing as much content as possible. And so, since contracts with actors and stuff, nobody's going to sign on for, they might sign on for a 6 film deal, 6 film deal, but nobody's going to sign on for 6 films over 2 years because they also want to do other things. They want to be actors. They don't want to just be the actor who is, War Machine. They want to do better movies or whatever. And so you just have to kind of widen your spread. You have to have more people in your stable, which means having more characters, which means changing things, introducing new stuff. And I feel like a lot of this is motivated by just needing people to continually give you money, which doesn't always mean your content is bad. It does mean you get to a situation where where there's 100,000 different storylines happening at the same time. And it feels like it's going to be a very difficult task to resolve everything satisfactorily. So I'm really curious, especially with that they've officially announced even more stuff that hasn't happened yet. There's Blade, there's the whole X-Men stuff, there's Fantastic Four, there's so many more things that they haven't even introduced, and it already feels like I'm drowning, So I don't know. It feels like you're drowning and you're asking for a life preserver, and they hand you a bucket of water. This is the exact problem I'm facing right now. This is in no way helping, and in fact, it's making it worse.
But and you can create more content, but still like keep it with, like, for example, the Eternals. Instead of it being about the Celestials, whatever, the Eternals is about them. A big part of it, the beginning, let's say, was them talking about why they did not intervene for Thanos. It's a huge moral quandary that they have to deal with, and then those weird monster things start appearing in a city, and they have to decide: do we intervene now? Like, we intervene now, and we go and fix because that's our job. But do we continue to intervene? And it's them saving the city from those creepy things. But the real theme is: do we continue to intervene in the world post Thanos?
Sure.
And that's the movie. It's a brilliant movie about what
Right.
your responsibility as a superhero, but then on top of that, it's contained within the storyline that's already been built
Slow
in
it
the
down.
Marvel universe. Right, right.
And
Slow it
maybe
down.
23 movies in, then you fight Thanos. Oh, wait a minute. They did that already. Why not do that again?
Yeah. So like just there's a way to contain these and to reel them in, let's say Miss Marvel is about her discovering these superpowers and again but also still dealing with the fact that her family was halved and now they've returned and there's a lot of familial chaos going on and where did these
Sure.
powers come from, things like that, like
Make a movie about regular humans dealing with the loss of half their family. That'd be really fun. And maybe they work at Shield, and somehow maybe they just
yeah.
somewhere in the background you see Iron Man or whatever, whoever. Like,
So
I don't care, but
there's a way to make
yeah.
all of this content but still contain it within a streamlined storyline. I fear
Mhm.
that for
Mhm.
phase the beginning of this series, this next saga,
This new set of phases, yeah,
yeah,
the new
the
saga,
beginning of
yeah,
this saga, I fear that they have gone way too many directions. So,
yeah, absolutely.
all right, I have one last one.
Okay, sure.
Don't rely on the action film. Their
Mm.
heaviest failures to me have been Black Widow, the end of Wakanda Forever, Thor Love and Thunder's, like just so much of it is just like relying on the punching and the excitement and the action. You of course include that. We want to see Shang-Chi punch a big scary black
Oh,
dragon.
part of some of the best parts of Shang-Chi are the cool like wuxia like wire fu like
Right,
combat they
right,
did.
right.
Like, that's really fun and interesting. A lot of Jackie Chan like inspiration it feels in that bus fighting scene.
We
Like
want to
cool
see
stuff like
that.
that is fun. Yes.
Don't rely on that. Black Widow
Right.
relied on that and it was in
That
my opinion possibly the worst Marvel movie made.
it did not get the attention it should have gotten for a character that's been around for 20, 15, however long already, 10
Absolutely,
years.
absolutely. So stop relying on the action film, lean more on your character building, and include action in your character building.
Yeah, do something interesting with your action. What if you had a Shield related, spy related movie or whatever, but it felt like a John Wick,
Yeah,
where like super cool, like the action itself shouldn't be the draw. Like I don't say John Wick is awesome because it has action. I say John Wick is awesome because it has such cool, interesting action. Like they actually take the time to do something that a lot of other movies don't do. And it is also action packed and fun, but it also like it's interesting to watch that part. A lot of Marvel movies, this is I think Captain America the First Avenger to a T, as soon as it becomes about the final, like we got to take down the Red Skull and he's got his big jet with the bomb and all that, it becomes boring.
yeah,
As soon as he becomes Captain America and it's just about him fighting people, it becomes a lot less interesting. The build up to like who he is and how he gets there is far more interesting, and it feels weird that let's talk about the end of the original Doctor Strange. That was a fun resolution to something that could have been a big magic fight, but instead he just did the time warp thing and said until the big demon man literally just said, "Oh, this is annoying. Fine, I'll
yeah.
leave." Like that was the end of the movie. And it was wonderful. Like Iron Man is super boring once it's just him fighting a bigger Iron Man. I could care like that's not interesting to me. What's interesting is this like super arrogant, terrible person trying to find redemption from the sins of his past.
Yep.
So yes, don't rely on the action. Have good action if you want to, but try to find the real like heart of what's going on, which they do successfully in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
But let's do a little better in some of those other movies.
You got anything else?
No, I think we covered like overall. I enjoyed a lot of the movies.
Yeah.
That's the
No, it was
irony is
good.
individually, a lot of the movies are cool, and like Shang-Chi was unique in some ways, and the Eternals I really liked, and Miss Marvel had a fun like teenage quality to it, and like an interesting like it talked about the partition of India, which is something it's like watching the Watchmen show where you're learning about the Tulsa Black Wall Street like bombing. And you're like, how did I
Yeah.
not know about this?
Yeah.
How did I learn about this from this superhero show? That feels like either a failure on me or the education system. But also, good job, Miss Marvel. That's really like a really interesting thing to talk about. But individually, they do cool stuff. Overall, it feels like it's floundering. If because they're continuing to try to like push this interconnected, it's all going somewhere, and it feels like that's going to be difficult to pull off. While all the individual components actually work pretty well, I think in most cases, except for Black Widow, really.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm hitting up the chat here. I'm not supposed to do that while we're podcasting.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? Indeed. Yeah, there are so many more interesting things that they can explore. Again, the sort of cultural issues that they hit with Black Panther, with Miss Marvel, with Falcon and Winter Soldier, so good. But I do want to say overall, I did enjoy Phase Four as a beginning of the saga. I think it was better than uh, Phase One of Marvel because they had experience. I think that Black Widow was the Incredible Hulk of it, the one that they probably don't want to talk about anymore. But
Yeah.
but overall, I enjoyed most of it. It was good. It was overall 6.5 out of 10 for me. Maybe a 7 out of 10. But to kind of tie things up here, Phase 5, where do you think / want Marvel to go with their next phase?
Don't introduce anything new. Like, as much as I want to see
Please.
new X-Men, because mutants are my favorite part of the Marvel universe, just wait. Just don't do that yet. Like, bring back. I want to see Shang-Chi too. Where is that? Why has that not been announced? That feels really weird, especially because it was really fun, and I like Simu Liu as an actor. Like, I think he's a really charismatic guy in a way that's not just arrogant white man. Like I want to see more of what's already been introduced rather than I don't care about Fantastic Four. Not because that can't be good. It's just I care about what's already
Right.
taken place and want to see those storylines continued and resolved before even more stuff shows up. So yeah, rein it in. Just stop. Just save some stuff. It feels like you're just shotgunning it all out there because you're worried about people getting bored. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
We talked about this in our post Phase 4 talk. We joked about this with time travel, but I want them to do this with the multiverse. Because whatever happens in whatever ends Phase 4, I want the beginning of Phase 5, or I guess Phase 4 is over. Whatever big event happens next, I want the end of the next phase for them to stare into the camera and say, and that destroyed the multiverse. Now there's
Turns
no
out
more
the
multiverse. It's
the
all
multiverse
just
is
this.
over.
Yeah. So again, looking directly in the camera, pointing at the ad and saying, no more time travel, no more multiverse. It's just this now. Like it's and honestly,
some guy runs in from off camera and says, "Guys, I have a magic potion that makes us able to go to the multiverse." And Miss Marvel pulls out a gun and shoots him. Just shoots him right in the face, and they die.
slaps the potion out of his hand. They stomp on it over and over again.
You know what? To make it real, that's Deadpool shows up with the magic multiverse potion. And Wolverine then shows up and murders him somehow.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, just rein it in.
Hits him with a newspaper.
If you want to have a celestial story, fine. I'm okay with that as long as it's in one universe because it leaves what, in my opinion, is a lazy writing loophole of anything you want can happen when you have time travel or a multiverse. Anything you want can happen, and it's a lazy writing loophole that you can fix any problem you want that way. It's
Sure.
a writing MacGuffin.
Turns out this universe has a rock that will solve our problem.
Yep.
So let's go get that real quick.
Exactly. Oh, the Iron Man of this universe already solved this problem. Let's go get his
let's
solution.
Just see what they did.
Yeah.
Let's get his solution gun and shoot our problem with it.
Yeah. So please eliminate the multiverse, eliminate it, and then and again, I hope that they continue to build smaller stories. I want to know
Yeah.
more about She-Hulk. I want to know more about Miss Marvel. I want to know more about New Hawkeye. I want to know more about all of these people
I would,
and their small
I would love
stories.
a Spider-Man 4 where it's him just trying to deal with like the loss of, the woman he loved and his best friend, and then Felicia Hardy shows up and he has this opportunity to maybe move on in a different direction, but she's a morally gray person and a
Yeah.
thief, but also maybe helps, and that's the movie. It doesn't then need Galactus to show up. Just show me about his like opportunity to maybe change or move on or stick to the past, and him dealing with that issue, rather than, oh no, Thanos 2, even bigger Thanos is back or
That's
is
one
here
thing
now.
that
Watch out.
one thing that they're starting to build with Phase 4 is moral neutrality and the lawful neutral side of things that I've called already. And I hope that they grow on that. Like I hope that they because
Yeah.
my favorite movie of the Infinity Saga was Civil War, and it was just absolutely like what's right. I don't know. Like even you as the audience are like I'm not sure what's right,
They
and
did a good
that's
job
awesome.
of you rooting for Captain America because he's right in the moment. But as far as the larger argument, they both have pretty strong, convictions that you would understand. And yeah, really, yeah. So let's do more of that.
So yeah, grow the Elaine's team. Grow
The Thunderbolts, yeah,
yeah the Thunderbolts. Is that what they're actually called?
yeah. That's the Marvel's Suicide Squad essentially.
There you go. Grow the Thunderbolts. Grow whatever. I can't remember what the heck is New Hawkeye's name.
Hawkeye.
No, her name.
Oh, I see. Late person. Uh, her
Whatever.
name is Jane Hawkeye.
Yeah. Haley Stein. What the
Steinfeld.
yeah, Haley Steinfeld, the actress's name. I can't remember the character's name though. But grow her like willing to break the rules side of things. Like continue
Sure.
to grow the Eternals breaking their rules. Like grow this side of them questioning what morality is. I like this idea. So
Right.
yeah, continue to grow that.
Yeah. That'd be great.
All right, you got anything else?
No, I think we've fairly pretty much covered what I'd like to see and
Cool. Well
what's
then,
going on.
hey, as we wrap up today, Fox, what have you been up to, my friend? What have you been reading? What have you been watching? What have you been playing? What's been going on with you?
I have been playing through Final Fantasy X-2 again.
Ooh, okay.
You know that really big popular game right now, Final Fantasy X-2?
Man, that game
Look,
to
I'll
me,
defend X-2. Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games of all
it's a
time.
great game. It's a wonderful game.
Maybe my favorite, competing with Breath of the Wild. X-2, I really enjoy. Mechanically, I enjoy the changes. They
Unique.
did a more active. You have this weird fixation on the fact that they change costumes.
No, 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 no.
Like
It's not on the fact
the
that the
the
fact that they
dress
change
up.
costumes.
No, no,
That
no,
that is the
no, no, no.
core
I understand.
mechanic. The core mechanic of the game is Barbie doll dressing. That is the core mechanic of the game.
The core mechanic of the game is they change classes, they change jobs, and that is visually depicted as putting on a different costume, which I'm fine with. I don't care if people have different like that. That makes sense to me. You put on different clothes, whatever. Who cares? It's visually representative of the thing. I'll say what I really like about the game is that uh, Yuna in Final Fantasy X. I'm going to get a little deep here. Final Fantasy X. She was this character who the entire game has a singular purpose. She never really gets to be her own person. She is 100% tied to what she's going to do, what her life's goal has been, and at the end of that game, she expected to die. She didn't have to, and now she's alive in a world where she has already accomplished her purpose and just gets to do what she wants to do. And you actually get to see her as a person, and that's
Yeah.
really fun. As well as the fact that it's a continuation. I think Final Fantasy X is one of the best representations of religion in a video game,
Yeah.
where there's like this ambiguity, there's this like there's this control, this power, and there's all kinds of stuff. And you find out that the people in charge of that religion were lying. They were just using it for power, all this whatever. And now you get to see the aftermath of that. And it doesn't just say, "Oh yeah, they were evil, so now nobody cares." You have New Yevon. You have people who still seek out the benefits of religious belief and religious thought, whilst it's basically an idea, it's the whole idea of deconstructing your faith that's very popular right now in Christian thought in a video game form. So you have
Yeah.
people who completely disregard it, leave behind their faith, go seek something else out, and then you have people who say, "Yeah, that was wrong, but the core idea of whatever this religion was is still important, so we're going to pursue that stuff." Anyway, Final Fantasy X-2, I think, is a really great game. Some of its story elements are not great, but mechanically, I think it's great. I think the story, like the world building, is awesome, and you can fight me. It's fine.
I didn't dislike it. I'll say that I did not dislike it. I just realized the time, so we probably have to hammer through these pretty fast here.
Yeah, it's a long episode.
I've been playing Pentiment, which is a game where you are a illuminate. You create illuminations in books. You're like, it's the Renaissance times. It's just after Martin Luther posted his 95 Theses. That's actually a big like a theme of what's going on here.
Cool.
And
I want to play that now.
you are a freelance artist who is doing illuminations for a church, and a murder occurs in the building, and your mentor is accused, and you are now trying to solve this crime because
Dang,
you're
okay,
trying
I'm
to.
gonna have to play this. This sounds cool.
It is. I consider this. You're a 7-year-old, and it's shower time. That's what I consider this game to be.
What?
When you're not doing it, you don't want to do it. It seems boring and a waste of your time, and you absolutely don't want to do it. And then when they finally make you do it, you're in there for 2 hours. That's what this game is to me. For whatever
Okay, interesting.
reason, when I'm not playing it, I'm like, no, man, it's just so much dialogue, and I'm running around and just talking to people. That's all it is. And then once I start, I'm like, I bet if I go here, there's a clue. I bet if I go there, there's another clue. I bet I can figure this out. I need to talk to that person. I need to talk to that person. I need to talk to everybody. Like, and they put you on this time frame, and like they make it so good in the game. And I don't know why when I'm not playing it. I don't know why when I'm not playing it, I don't want to play it. And I don't know why when I do play it, it's just enthralling. Like it's weird. I don't know what's going on, but play it. It's really, really good. It's well worth it. You can create your character,
Okay.
and it changes the dialogue and what you can get through depending on how you've created your character. I created mine to be like me. He's a guy who is an orator, studied theology, relies on logic, and like is very personable, likes to talk to people a lot. And so like, and I think it helped me really invest myself in this character and what was going on, because I got it so customized it so the responses he could give or responses I would give, including high theology. Like they did really good study on Christian theology for this game, and it's great. It really is a great game.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm about to hit my time limit, so I'm gonna say I have watched half of the first episode of Last of Us and have really enjoyed it so far.
It's very good. Yes.
It's an impressive adaptation of a video game.
It's very, very good. Okay, you're about to finish up, so I'll just say that I've been watching Velma, the new HBO Max show, and it's a very HBO Max show. It's very Harley Quinn-esque, but it's fun and worth watching, and I'm enjoying it. It's Mindy Kaling. It's very Mindy Kaling. And
You are the first person or review or anything that I've seen that says you should watch this show. So that's
again,
funny.
don't expect it to be spectacular or anything like that. It's fun. It is. It's enjoyable. I like it. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys,
All right.
thank you very much for listening. We want to say a big thank you to Granger for the use of our theme song, All My Friends Have Wi-Fi, and so do most of my neighbors, off of the album Dear Sam. Check out Granger. They're a great band.
Agreed. And yeah, we really appreciate. We'd love it if you let people know that we exist, that the Nerdy Gritty exists, as well as we stream now. We stream our podcast, and so you can join us on Twitch. Get the word out there. You know, we'd love to interact with you a little bit.
Yeah, twitch.tv/SavePointMin. Thanks again for listening, guys, and always remember that saved games save lives.
Bye.
All right, I'm out.
Same.
All right, chat, if you had anything to say about Marvel Phase 5 or Marvel Phase 4 and where you think you should go, what you like about it, you can bring it up now. Fox, if you got to go, you can go, my friend.
Yeah, I gotta take off soon, so I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Fox. We appreciate you. Bye. So yeah, really overall, I liked Phase 4 of Marvel. It was a good and enjoyable phase. I think the struggle that a lot of people had with Phase 4 is they were comparing it to Marvel Phase 3, which was the culmination of everything that Marvel has built, like that Marvel had built up to that point. And so it was an unfair comparison. So yeah, I think that there was a lot more that should be given to Marvel Phase 4. So uh, Raintree, no problem, man. Hey, you showed up when you could. Today was a weird timing anyway. We were supposed to start streaming way earlier, but I had made a doctor's appointment, so we had to postpone it. But then the doctor wanted to run some tests, so the doctor's appointment went long, so I had to like delay the postponement. So the whole timing was weird enough anyway, man. So I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for being here. But he says he loves Phase 4. Yeah, dude, it was real good. Real good. All right, I haven't had lunch yet. I am starving, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and duck out too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be playing a board game called Unmatched, which is this sweet. I just learned how to play it. It's super cool. The whole premise is like you're fictional characters and you're just put onto a battlefield. And it's this strategy card, almost like chess, but with cards, where you have these pieces that you're moving around the board and you're fighting one another. He recommended it. So I'm going to be playing it with Eric Anderson from a church in Michigan that I can't remember the name of right now. A Wesleyan church in Michigan, but also from Nerd Chapel, an organization that helps bring the gospel to the nerd culture. So check us out tomorrow. We're going to be streaming at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you guys there. Once again, thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.